What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with another Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 Skalgrim Mod ship spotlight. Or rather, not quite a spotlight, but an addendum to a previous spotlight, being the Swarmship battlecruiser spotlight that we did last episode. Now, the reason for the addendum is based on a comment left by Skalgrim himself on that said episode, which talks about the damage output of the Swarmship and where it's actually coming from. That I did neglect to talk about myself. And I wasn't actually sure where the said damage was coming from, and that is via the shield. Now, the Tyranids do have the Spore trait. I don't know where it is. So with regards to their turrets and shield, here it is, Spores. The ship gets 1 defense turret for every 25 active shield points. The shield inflicts 2.5 damage per second, ignoring the shield to enemy ships within 4.5k units for every 100 active shield points. So Tyranids have always had this, but it's been buffed up in the mod, and obviously all the ships have this, but the thing that makes this swarm ship dish out more damage is obviously the fact that it has considerably more shielding for the amount of cost that it has, which enables to sort of lean heavily into the damage from its spores, hence I guess the swarm ship, and not just the tentacles. So in the purpose of this particular little addendum videos, I'm going to launch a bunch of the same swarm ships into a battle against something that has a lot of enemies, like the orcs, for example, and not use spore fields. Maybe not even use... Maybe don't even use the clutch kraken so that they don't set up spores everywhere. You know what? Yeah, let's change this up a little bit. Let's not use all of these clutches, and let's just bring nothing but swarm ships. There we go. 66 points left over. It's not a big deal. Get over here too. There we go. Save. Wait, did I not save it? What? Wait, maybe I just saved that previous fleet, but now, yeah, there we go. Get over here, too. Nothing but swarm ships, and I just want to test out the damage of that shield effect that the swarm ships have without relying on fires on board and all that other stuff that we got, and even without relying on the smaller ships to distract the enemy. So hopefully this will be a nice showing for how much damage output the shielding can do. I do, however, still think that the ship might be a little bit too expensive for what it does at 126, because considering the fact that at only 60 points more you can get a Biotentacles hive ship, which has a better version of the tentacles, but also is a hive ship and has a similar set of or similar amount of shielding there. So would you really want to buy a swarm ship when you can get a Biotentacles hive ship instead? I'm not sure. Just by virtue of the fact that it has a better tentacles, but also launch base and also 4 weapons, as well as a super heavy pyro acid artillery, and that is the cheapest hive ship, which is why I'm choosing that, on top of the fact that it is more heavily armored and does have a spur. I suppose what you would be comparing this to is have a swarm ship together with either a corrosive clutch or a bio clutch, because that would be putting them about even in terms of points. I mean, maybe they're somewhat comparable. I personally would probably still choose the hive ship, but maybe it would be better as a mixed fleet with a couple of hive ships and then a bunch of these, because you can send in the corrosive clutches to sort of die while the rest of the ships move in and can apply that shielding, because the corrosive clutches obviously don't apply the shield damage because they have barely any shield to speak of, as they are a light cruiser. Still, yeah, maybe it's on par in terms of its cost. In fact, let's find out by actually getting it into a battle. I thought that the orcs would probably give us the best idea of what this will look like in terms of shield damage, so let's try it with the orcs. Now, in terms of upgrades, I feel like for these particular ships, you definitely do want to get that blood trail thing that they have in order to increase the damage that they deal, especially as they are going to be in close. They are acting as sacrificial ships. They're going to take a lot of damage, and some of them are inevitably going to die, so I think that is pretty effective. But for this particular addendum showcase, ooh, wow, what a cool shot. Distracting. And we got a star in the same color scheme as our fleet, which is awesome. I forgot what I was going to say because I got distracted, because I don't think I've ever seen this particular star. Neat. Alright, the upgrades. I did go for Spasmic Excretion for the reload stance, because once again this particular ship is built for it. But instead of the blood upgrade, I went for Accelerated Regeneration to increase that light critical thing. Okay, wait, let's also put you back here so I don't forget. There we go. So that the Admiral doesn't die. Yeah, but generally speaking, I would probably rather use the Blood Trail than the Accelerated Regeneration thing. And then I went for Void Lurker and Speedy Recovery, not any damaging abilities, because I just want to see how much damage output our ships can do via that shield ability. So let's find out, shall we? Let's speed it up. I'm just going to do one quick little battle against the Orcs without relying on any escorts or anything else, just sheer shield damage. Or spore damage, I suppose. Yes. Let's get to it. I really wish the enemies were a little bit more blobbed up, but oh well. Alright, you guys keep moving, and we should take it off of Speedy now. Speedy? Yes, that's what I'm calling it. Alright, you guys get ready to move in. Let's see how much damage all of you getting close to enemy ships can do. I'd really like to see what they can do to a Titan in blobs like this, although obviously the damage will be pretty real. Do we want to send maybe a couple out here, or do we want to max out the amount of damage? Hello, oh, we have an heavy Rama. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Well, somebody's coming in for a ram. Let's do this. Don't get rammed by it, but you can certainly board it. Everybody else go in and start using tentacles of various kinds. There we go, there we go. Oh, you guys are all gonna go into reload and move in, move in. The enemy have torped themselves. Let's have everybody else move it on in. Alright, and start applying tentacles to whoever you can reach, really. Feeder tentacles, feeder tentacles, feeder tentacles, feeder tentacles. There we go, ships are dying. Everybody get closer. Gotta maintain that distance. Where's our Admiral? Ooh, gotta be careful with you, Admiral. Yeah, let's just be careful so that you don't die. You can feeder tentacles this enemy. Alright, how's that damage looking so far? We should also probably board the enemy, although they are all in call to arms, so we don't really need to. You're gonna get hit by a plasma bomb because it's not gonna be enough time, and that's okay. Alright, looks like that ship is done for. You can board this other ship, and yeah, these ships are dying fairly quickly. At least the ones that are part of this blob. Yeah, they're certainly losing quite a bit of HP like this. But I'm still not sure that I think that this is as effective as it would be to bring a bunch of those hive ships instead. Yeah, and we are taking quite a bit of damage as well. How's that Admiral looking? Hey, you stay beside this enemy. Stay beside him. I guess you can do some shield damage. And then you guys can turn on the remaining enemies. Use your, ooh, there's an enemy Admiral over here as well. Our Admiral isn't really hurt. You need to reload, buddy. Everybody needs to stay and reload. I don't think we need to reclamation pools or anything. You might actually die. Ooh. Okay, fine. You need to spawning sack, or else you will die. You stay on this. Everybody else, get those tentacles in here. Not hook tentacles, but feeder tentacles. And I guess a few more from you guys on this. Is that a Mega Rocks? It is a Mega Rocks. Lovely. Okay, so that thing can usually take a heck of a beating. So this will be a good test for these guys. Okay, that Admiral is basically done for. Everybody move closer to that Mega Rock, see how much damage you can do. How's our Admiral looking? Okay, the Admiral has drifting halt to the enemy ship here, which is still losing quite a bit of HP. Gonna get the hell out of here now. Part of that was the fires on board. I did say I wanted to avoid the fires on board, but you know, it couldn't be helped in that particular situation. More tentacles, please. Yeah, I feel like separately I'm gonna want to test out how this particular fleet will work with hive ships in general, because you could do the same sort of concept. But I think with stronger ships, as they would have more of the weaponry. Just my analysis without actually having tested those particular ships in comparison. And I think the battle should be just about over. You're gonna mutiny. I guess you're gonna come back one more time, but I don't think it's gonna help that much. Yeah, it looks like a very solid amount of damage, even to a ship like a Mega Rocks. Get those adrenal glands up. Everybody keep moving. Keep moving. Follow this ship. Don't actually need to ram it. And there we go. It's actually gonna explode. There we go. Alrighty, so that goes to show you just how much damage these guys can deal out, and once again, I just want to say that you can increase that with the Blood Trail, you can increase that with spore fields all over the place, and you can increase it with, well, fires on board were already happening, so I guess that was part of the thing, but all that extra damage will help all the other extra damage, and everything will compound together, plus maybe even having a couple of pyroacid ships to help out increase more damage over time damage would help out here really, and I think this ship might definitely be a good as an addition to various fleets that are reliant on dealing damage over time. Like maybe take this ship together with a Pyroclastic Titan or a few other smaller ships, just enough to light the enemy on fire as you combine with the Acid Blood ability. Maybe, or even have the Admiral take a Drool Cannon instead to help out with all those extra fires on board and other damaging skills. As I said, a damage over time, fire, Drool Cannon, Spore Fields, etc., etc. So pretty cool ship. Not 100% sure about its cost yet, but I mean, considering how effective it can be, maybe it's there. I mean, the problem with decreasing Tyranid ship costs is that in this mod, Tyranids are already incredibly powerful, and part of that is because the AI is terrible at playing them. So I guess you definitely have to bump them up in order to make them a real threat. And lowering their costs any further makes them already quite obnoxious. Tyranids are probably the most threatening faction that you can face in the mod, although a little bit less so when you don't have the two submods that increase HP and decrease weapon damage. But also that those particular submods do make ships like this, the Swarmship, extremely effective because they are they get like multiplied in terms of the buffs that they get from the increased HP and the decrease to weapon damage from everybody, as this is right up their alley. So certainly goes to show you the effectiveness of the ship. Okay, that's enough for me this time. Just a quick little addendum, as I said. Next time we will continue with the look at the rest of the Tyranid ships. Well, not both of them at the same time, but as we get to them. So blah, 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 blah. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.